The Lone Ranger, 1949 to 1957, is a legendary television series that left a deep mark on the audience with its dramatic stories of a Western hero. Thanks to a combination of intense action, battles for justice, and the talented performances of its cast, the show quickly became a cultural phenomenon, enjoying success for many years. However, behind the bright lights of the performances, the real-life stories of the actors involved were filled with tragedy and challenges. While they brought resilient characters to the screen, many of them faced unexpected accidents, battled illnesses, and dealt with painful losses in their personal lives. Some actors even suffered sudden and tragic deaths, leaving a lasting impact on the memories of their fans. These stories are not only tragic but also serve as a testament to the resilience and sacrifices of those involved in the arts. Clayton Moore, born on September 14, 1914, in Chicago, was a famous actor known for his role as the Lone Ranger in The Lone Ranger, 1949. With this role, Moore became a symbol of justice and heroism, portraying a character who was not only brave but also deeply committed to noble ideals. However, his personal life was far from simple. Moore was married twice, but both marriages ended in divorce, and his relationship with his daughter, Dawn, also faced many struggles. His career was heavily affected after the show ended, when the Lone Ranger character was replaced, and Moore had to fight to retain the rights to his iconic mask and costume. Despite enduring difficult years financially and facing limited acting opportunities, Moore occasionally appeared in special television programs and public events, even though his fame had faded. On December 28, 1999, he passed away at the age of 85 from a heart attack. Although his life was filled with challenges, his portrayal of the Lone Ranger remains Clayton Moore's memorable legacy, with the image of a hero always cherished in the hearts of fans. Jay Silverheels, born on May 26, 1912, in Canada, was a Mohawk and a standout actor known for his role as Tonto in The Lone Ranger, 1949. Before entering Hollywood, Silverheels had experience as a professional wrestler and stuntman, which helped him build a strong physical foundation to meet the demanding nature of acting. His portrayal of Tonto became a major turning point in his career, as he depicted a loyal, courageous, and wise Native American character, breaking the negative stereotypes of indigenous people in films of that time. However, despite the success of his role, Silverheels still faced prejudice and typecasting from Hollywood. His private life was also challenging, with 2 marriages, though he had no children, and his second wife, Frances, stood by him until his passing. In the later years of his life, Silverheels faced significant health issues when he suffered a stroke in 1979, which left him partially paralyzed. After battling the effects of the stroke, Jay Silverheels passed away on March 5, 1980, at the age of 67. Despite the many hardships in his life, his portrayal of Tonto remains a memorable symbol, solidifying his place as a pioneer for Native American actors in Hollywood. John Hart, born on December 13, 1917, was chosen to play the Lone Ranger in 1950, replacing Clayton Moore after he left the series. Hart brought a more serious and intense version of the Lone Ranger, leaving a strong impression on audiences. Growing up in poverty, Hart had to work hard to support himself, and despite no formal acting training, he eventually found opportunities in Hollywood. However, his career never reached the heights of Moore's, and Hart often struggled to find roles beyond the Lone Ranger. His personal life was also filled with challenges, as he was married 3 times, but all 3 marriages ended in divorce. His strained relationship with his children led him to live a lonely life in his later years. After his acting career ended, Hart lived quietly, staying out of the public eye. He passed away on September 20, 2009, at the age of 91 from natural causes. Although his time as the Lone Ranger was brief, Hart's contributions to the iconic series remain an integral part of its television history. Chuck Courtney, born on July 23, 1930, is best known for his role as Dan Reed in The Lone Ranger, which began airing in 1950. In this role, Courtney portrayed a loyal and courageous character, earning great acclaim from audiences while embodying the spirit of the American frontier. Despite his successful acting career, Courtney's personal life was filled with hardships and tragedies. Growing up in a difficult family situation, he faced many challenges, especially in his relationship with his often absent father. His career showed much promise, with many roles in television and film, but he struggled to maintain stability in his personal life. Courtney married at a young age, but his first marriage ended in divorce after several years, and his second marriage also faced challenges. His life became more difficult as he battled prolonged depression. Eventually, tragedy struck when he committed suicide on January 19, 2000, at the age of 69, leaving a deep sadness for his family and fans. Chuck Courtney's death was a great loss, as he left too soon, leaving an unforgettable mark with his portrayal of Dan Reed. Lane Bradford, born on August 29, 1922, played Duke Wade in The Lone Ranger from 1949. With his handsome appearance and strong physique, Bradford became a prominent face in Western films, and his role as Duke Wade made him a familiar presence on screen. However, his career was influenced by personal difficulties, and despite his great potential, Bradford never achieved the level of fame he deserved. Growing up in a challenging environment, Bradford faced many obstacles in life, and his personal relationships were far from smooth. He married twice, but both marriages ended in divorce, and he had no children. His life outside of the screen was marked by emotional turmoil, as his acting career was often prioritized over his personal life. Bradford passed away on June 7, 1973, at the age of 50 from a heart attack, a heartbreaking loss that cut short his promising career. Although his time in Hollywood was brief, his role as Duke Wade in The Lone Ranger remains an important part of the series' legacy, and his death at such a young age was a great sorrow for those who knew him. Mickey Simpson, born on December 3, 1913, was a familiar face in Western films and left a lasting impression in The Lone Ranger with his role as Ben Boone, beginning in 1950. The character of Ben Boone, a rough but honorable man, perfectly fit into the world of The Lone Ranger, and Simpson's performance was often praised for its sincerity and subtlety. Although he did not have a formal education, Mickey Simpson overcame the challenges of growing up during the Great Depression to find his way into acting. However, his life was also full of challenges. While he married once and had a seemingly stable personal life, tragedy struck in his later years when he faced serious health issues. Mickey struggled with heart problems for many years, and on September 23, 1985, he passed away at the age of 71 from heart failure. His death marked a great loss to Western film fans, and his passing closed a chapter in the legacy of The Lone Ranger. John Kaysen, born on July 30, 1918, made his mark with his role as Barney Compton in The Lone Ranger starting in 1949. This character, combining toughness with humor, made him a beloved figure in the show. Growing up in a challenging environment with little formal education, Kaysen faced many struggles to pursue his acting dreams. Although he gained recognition for his role in The Lone Ranger, his personal life was fraught with difficulties. He married young, but this relationship ended in divorce, leaving Kaysen with deep emotional scars. Despite his promising career, he continued to battle loneliness and personal challenges. His career was tragically cut short when he died in a car accident on July 7, 1961, at the age of 42. This sudden death shocked his family, fans, and colleagues, leaving many to mourn a talent that was never fully realized. House Peters Jr., born January 12, 1916, was best known for his role as Bat Anders in The Lone Ranger starting in 1950. With his calm and strong personality, Peters' portrayal of Bat Anders left a lasting impression on audiences, making it one of the most memorable roles in the series. Born into a family with a theatrical background, Peters was exposed to the entertainment industry at a young age, although his childhood was not easy due to financial instability. Despite this, he remained determined to pursue acting and enjoyed a long television career, with The Lone Ranger being one of his standout performances. His personal life, however, faced many challenges. Peters married twice, but both marriages ended in divorce. In his later years, he struggled with serious health problems, including pneumonia, and passed away on October 1, 2008, at the age of 92. His death marked the end of a remarkable career, and his contributions to television, particularly in the Western genre, are still fondly remembered by fans. John Doucette, born January 21, 1921, gained recognition for his role as Andrew Gage in The Lone Ranger beginning in 1949. Doucette's character, a complex and often antagonistic figure, left a deep impression on viewers. Born into a working-class family, Doucette faced many hardships and had limited access to formal education. However, his passion for acting helped him overcome these challenges and build a solid career in both television and film. Despite his success, his personal life was filled with difficulties. Doucette married, but the relationship ended in divorce, and emotional struggles took a toll on him. Later in life, he battled cancer, which ultimately took his life on August 16, 1994, at the age of 73. Doucette's death was a significant loss to fans and colleagues, and his contributions, particularly in The Lone Ranger, are still cherished. Harry Harvey, born January 10, 1901, was a familiar face known for his role as Clem in The Lone Ranger starting in 1949. Growing up in poverty, Harvey's childhood was full of challenges, forcing him to work hard to pursue a career in Hollywood. Although he didn't have formal education, he trained on stage before transitioning to film, where he achieved success. However, his personal life was unstable. His first marriage ended in divorce, and although he remarried later, he kept details of his family life private. Harvey had children, but little information about them was made public, reflecting his private nature. In his later years, Harvey lived quietly and no longer received attention from the public. He passed away on November 27, 1985, at the age of 84 from natural causes. Although his acting career was notable, his personal life was overshadowed by emotional struggles, making him a figure less frequently mentioned outside the screen. Harry Lauter, born June 19, 1914, gained recognition for his role as Dave Tucker in The Lone Ranger starting in 1949. His character, strong and dependable, mirrored the qualities Lauter portrayed throughout his career, as well as his determination to make a name for himself in Hollywood. Growing up in a working-class family, Lauter faced many hardships in his early years. He didn't attend college, instead beginning his acting career through stage training before moving to film. While building a stable career, Lauter's personal life was full of challenges. He married twice, but both marriages ended in separation, and he struggled to maintain close relationships. Lauter had children, but little is known about his family life, indicating a somewhat distant existence. In his later years, Lauter dealt with health issues, including heart disease, and passed away on October 30, 1990, at the age of 76. Despite his success, his personal life was always marked by emotional struggles and isolation. John Cliff, born November 26, 1918, was well known for his role as Al Keller in The Lone Ranger starting in 1950. His portrayal of Al Keller, a strong and resilient character, reflected the very essence of Cliff's own life. Growing up during the Great Depression, Cliff learned to face adversity from an early age. Rather than attending a traditional college, he worked various jobs before pursuing acting. Although he found success with his role in The Lone Ranger, his personal life was turbulent, particularly his difficult marriage that ended in divorce. He had children, but details about his family life were kept private, reflecting a man who concealed his personal pain from the public. As he grew older, Cliff's health declined, and he struggled with multiple medical issues. However, he continued to act and contribute to the arts until his death on May 12, 2001, at the age of 82, leaving behind a legacy of powerful performances and a life marked by hidden personal struggles. William Chaley, born April 6, 1904, was known for his role as Bad Eye Dixon in The Lone Ranger starting in 1950. With his striking presence on screen, Chaley made a lasting impression with his strong, memorable performances. However, his life was a mix of triumphs and tragedies. Growing up in a turbulent era, he entered acting later in life after trying various other careers. Although his acting career earned him recognition, his personal life was not without difficulties. Chaley married young, but the relationship quickly dissolved, and he faced the pain of a difficult divorce. In his later years, he lived in relative solitude, with his only child having little contact with him, indicating a distant family relationship. Chaley also faced several health issues, particularly as he aged. Nevertheless, he continued acting until his final years, maintaining his reputation as a talented character actor. William Chaley passed away on March 11, 1989, at the age of 84 from natural causes, and his life stands as a testament to perseverance through both professional and personal challenges. Richard Crane, born June 6, 1918, was known for his role as Billy in The Lone Ranger starting in 1950. With his authoritative presence on screen, Crane quickly became a familiar face, and his role in the show cemented his reputation as a reliable actor. However, his life off-screen was less smooth. Growing up in a modest family, Crane worked hard to earn his place in the challenging world of entertainment. He married once, but the marriage ended in heartbreak, and his relationship with his children was strained, with them feeling the pressure of his public persona. His family life was in stark contrast to the strong image he portrayed on screen. Despite achieving early success in his career, Crane faced a tragic turning point in 1969 when he died of a heart attack at the age of 50. His sudden death shocked friends, colleagues, and fans, marking the end of a memorable career overshadowed by personal struggles that were largely unknown to the public. Robert Kellett, born April 23, 1915, in New York, was widely recognized for his role as Ace in The Lone Ranger starting in 1949. With a strong career in Hollywood, Kellett was often cast in roles requiring a commanding presence, thanks to his impressive stature. However, his personal life was filled with deep struggles. Growing up in difficult circumstances and losing his mother at a young age, Kellett faced emotional scars that lasted throughout his life. Despite his success, he battled depression and financial difficulties. Kellett married in the late 1940s, but the marriage ended in divorce due to his reclusiveness and infidelity, and they had no children. His later years were marked by isolation and a sense of detachment as he fought with deep-seated sadness. Robert Kellett passed away on January 13, 1981, at the age of 65 from a heart attack. His death marked the end of a notable career, but also one filled with personal victories and private sorrow, leaving behind a legacy of dedication to his work while always confronting his inner demons. Sandy Sanders, born on May 23, 1919, was a veteran actor known for his role as Dave in The Lone Ranger from 1949. With a strong screen presence, he made a lasting impression on fans. However, Sanders' life off-screen was full of challenges and tragedy. Growing up in a small town with financial difficulties, he had to fight for the chance to break into Hollywood, relying on his natural charm and determination. His personal life was turbulent, with his first marriage in the late 1940s ending in divorce due to emotional issues and alcoholism. Sanders had a daughter named Sarah, but their relationship was strained due to his absence and personal struggles. His second marriage in the 1950s also failed, leaving him to live in isolation during his later years. His life was dominated by depression and alcohol addiction, and although he had a successful acting career, his personal pain was largely hidden from the public. Sandy Sanders passed away on January 2, 2005, at the age of 85 from natural causes, leaving behind a legacy of acting but also a story of loneliness and inner struggle that he endured throughout his life. Sailor Vincent, born on October 24, 1901, in Maine, was a versatile actor known for his role as the second stagecoach driver in The Lone Ranger starting in 1949. With a strong and reliable presence, his performance made him a beloved character in the show. However, his childhood was marked by hardships, growing up in a working-class family and taking on various jobs to make ends meet before entering acting. His first marriage ended tragically when his wife died in a car accident while pregnant with their child, a loss that caused him deep pain. To cope, he threw himself into his acting career and remarried in the 1950s. However, his second marriage also faced challenges and ultimately ended in divorce in the early 1960s. Despite these difficulties, he found comfort in his children, who were a solid support during his later years. Sailor Vincent passed away on July 12, 1966, at the age of 64 from natural causes. Although his career was successful, his life was marked by many personal tragedies, but he left a lasting impression on his fans. Rand Brooks, born on September 21, 1918, was an actor famous for his role as Al Summers in The Lone Ranger from 1949. Coming from a well-off family, his childhood was full of opportunities, but also weighed down by the immense pressure of his family's expectations. He began his entertainment career at a young age, gaining recognition for his acting talent, but his personal life was not without struggles. After marrying an actress in the late 1940s, their relationship quickly fell apart due to work-related stress and separation. Although he had a son named Matthew, their relationship became strained as Brooks struggled to balance his career and family. After a second marriage in the 1960s, he went through another divorce, leaving him with emotional scars. In his later years, Brooks battled cancer, which took a toll on his health. Rand Brooks passed away on September 1, 2003, at the age of 84, after a long fight with illness, marking the end of a great career but one full of personal challenges. Emmett Lynn, born on February 14, 1897, was a talented actor known for his role as Amos Carter in The Lone Ranger starting in 1949. With a strong and serious approach to his roles, Lynn made a deep impact on audiences. However, his life was not as smooth as his career. Growing up in a poor neighborhood, he faced significant challenges from a young age. Nonetheless, Lynn remained determined to pursue his passion for acting and succeeded in Hollywood, participating in many films and TV shows. His personal life was marked by tragedy. After his first wife passed away due to illness, he was left to raise 2 children on his own. His second marriage, although initially happy, ended in sorrow when his wife suddenly died in a car accident. This loss deeply affected Lynn, and his later years were plagued by depression. Emmett Lynn passed away from a heart attack on October 20, 1958, at the age of 61, leaving behind a memorable acting legacy but also a life filled with grief and loss. Glenn Strange, born on August 16, 1899, was a renowned actor known for his role as Butch Cavendish in The Lone Ranger starting in 1949. With his tall stature and deep voice, he became an unforgettable villain in Western films. Born into a working-class family, Strange faced many difficulties in his early years. Before joining Hollywood, he worked various tough jobs, from bartending to cowboying, which helped shape his rugged personality suited for his later roles. His career began in the 1930s, and he quickly gained fame when he portrayed Frankenstein's monster in films. Despite his career success, Strange's personal life was not without turmoil. He experienced 2 failed marriages, financial struggles, and a sense of loneliness. Nevertheless, he continued his career and became an integral part of Hollywood history. Glenn Strange passed away on September 20, 1973, at the age of 74 from lung cancer after a long battle with illness. Who is the most memorable actor to you from The Lone Ranger? Share your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss any of our latest videos.